All right, so I grew up like most normal kids in middle class neighborhood. We went to church most every week, and pretty normal middle class life. Nothing crazy exciting. But when I was about in junior high, some of my friends were kind of stealing stuff and whatever. So I was like, well, let me just try it. So there was a couple of times where I went to the store and I went to the dressing room and put on some clothes underneath my clothes and took those home. I'm not sure why, but so then I went and I went camping and I lost my pocket knife, so I needed a new one. So I went to the store and I took another one. Those things that for some reason somehow I never got caught. I never got in trouble. Obviously, I knew it was wrong, but I never got in trouble, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Again, I was a normal middle class kid. Looked at dirty magazines. Just a normal, unsaved kid. We went to church, I even went through confirmation of faith class, where it's basically supposed to teach you about how to know Christ. And I went through that class, and I graduated from that class. But that was in junior high, and it didn't make a difference. It didn't change who I was. So I began, high school, dating a girl, and if you never had an example or a reason not to become physical, then that's what you do. That's what everybody else does. Like I said, I looked at dirty magazines. So I began, having a physical relationship as a ninth grader in high school. So then with the next girl that I dated, obviously that's what I knew about relationships. So that's where it led to. And then, eventually that broke up, but it wasn't until I was actually dating that girl my senior year of high school. I was on a trip with her family, and I was staying in a room with her older brother that he told me about Christ. I've been going to church probably all my life at that point. I've been going to a couple different churches and hanging out with friends and all that stuff and doing church things and mission trips and all that stuff, but it wasn't until that point, it was right before Christmas, my senior year of high school, because of that relationship that I was, an ungodly relationship that I was in, that God used to bring me to know Him. And about that time is when my parents split up. So my dad had an affair, and my parents split up. He was always pretty busy with work and apparently pretty busy with other things besides work. There was lots of things taking his time away from us. And so one of the things that I really fear right now is to follow in his footsteps. I know that my dad loves me, but it terrifies me to think that I could possibly do the same thing to my wife and my family. And so here, I have two boys. I have two boys who, almost every day, Jonah tells me, I want to be just like you, Daddy. So I know that I can't follow the example that I was given. That I have to look beyond that. I'm Jeremy Jackson, and I am second.